Yo, give me your assessment on the 2024-2025 Knicks thus far.
Man, what I'll say, and I'm a Nets fan, so naturally I've hated on the Knicks. But last year I couldn't hate on them because it was such a good story. It was an underdog story. It was a bunch of guys that were not lottery picks, a bunch of guys that not everybody wanted. And they played like dogs. Like they will scrap and get to every ball, throw up a prayer shot, get every rebound, make the pass here. Like they were fun to watch.
Yeah, fine.
And what I think Knicks fans are struggling with right now is in January of last year, even a little bit of February before Julius got hurt, I'm watching them. They beat everybody. Like that's when the season really starts to get going. And they were better than it didn't matter. They beat everybody. Where I was joking, but I'm like, this is an NBA Finals team.
That's facts.
I'm like, I know it's a lot to be seen, but they figured it out with the trade, getting OG.
Yeah.
Randall gets hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're not going anywhere without Randall because they need his presence, his defense, his scoring, and just his mentality. Like you need an enforcer type out there.
Facts.
But then they still rallied and figured it out. Josh Harden played a whole damn game. DiVincenzo shooting the lights out. Brunson go get 40. iHeart was just like
on fire.
Out of nowhere. Like no one had any idea in the beginning of last season that he was like that. So what Knicks fans are struggling with right now is they'll never get to see what that could have been. I thought y'all was running it back. Why not run it back? What?
Right.
And you know why you couldn't run it back? Because iHeart didn't stay.
Which the one.
Yeah, which
the game. He went and got the most money he could get for a number one seed. OKC is the number one seed. Yeah. Understood. But then Mitchell Robinson being hurt, you had to make a move. You didn't have a center. You didn't have a big. You didn't have a five. And everybody said they had been working and checking on the Karl Anthony Towns trade since last year.
Yeah.
So they punched that, but they had also made the Mikal Bridges trade, where I've been saying y'all needed Mikal Bridges in the playoffs last year. Like you could have used a 3-and-D wing like that in the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah.
Right now they're all trying to gel. It's a completely new team. It's a completely new energy, a completely new vibe. Like Mikal Bridges is being coached for the first time by Tibbs.
Yeah.
Like he's back now playing with Brunson and Hart, and DiVincenzo is not there. And Cat can get busy, but he's got to figure out he's not playing with Ant-Man and Gobert and them anymore. Like they're all trying to figure it out.
Right.
And what I feel like is they don't know who should take the last shots. They don't know who, like they're figuring out their roles. And it's early on in the NBA season where if you look at the standings right now, there's a lot of surprises. Like y'all got the Bucks tomorrow night. Gotta beat the Bucks.
Cavs are in first.
Right. And it's like, it's just too early to say. So what I'll say is I'll talk you off the ledge with the way a lot of the Knicks fans are talking about. They're like, look at the last couple of years. They started off with a similar record.
Yeah.
And I got to look again, but I was looking at the odds for, Vegas. They still have good odds on the Knicks to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So what does Vegas know? Vegas knows it's going to come together at some point.
Yeah.
And the word that I've been using and they use the most in basketball is chemistry. Yes. Right. So, when I took chemistry, you're pouring a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You're waiting for a reaction.
Yeah.
They had a chemistry project last year that they blew up. Now they have some ingredients, some elements here, and this is a new chemistry project that you got to give it 30 minutes to cook. Yeah. You got to give it, 30 minutes is 3 months in the NBA to cook and see what it turns into. It's not going to happen overnight, but you have the talent, right? You have Brunson, you have Cat, you have Bridges. Like just those three alone should be able to get you there. But also they got to get a bench. They got to get a bench together.
Yes.
The bench has been a huge problem. You can't have a bench getting outscored 30-3 against the Rockets. And then I know Tyler Kolek and Deuce McBride and they got to have a better bench. Yeah. But Precious Achiuwa will come back. Mitchell Robinson will come back. They just signed a couple guys and you'll have the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Now, and one of our always concerns is Tibbs' mentality, right? It's always Tibbs going to play our guys to the ground. He doesn't ever play any rookies. He doesn't play the guys that, as a Knicks fan, we want to see play and see their potential in the future, upcoming months, however it may be. Now, there was an article that came out, and the Knicks don't have not one of their players leading the league in minutes played per second, which is astronomical, right? Which is usually because, Randall, and as hurt Randall was last year, he was still there in the top 5. And Brunson, obviously, he had to play a load of minutes. Now, do you foresee Tibbs going away from his mentality and start testing his rotations out more frequently? Because to be honest, in these games, with the injuries now, he has no choice but to do it. Now, do you see him actually start doing that and using that mentality and pushing forward to see? Because you're not going to win nothing without a bench, right? Do you think he makes that change eventually to actually start seeing Kolek and guys like Huck Porty play more minutes?
I think that if there ever was a year for him to change, it's this year because of how last year ended. Everybody was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never actually know. Like, if they were healthy, they would have probably beat the Pacers. And I remember at the end of the year, they smacked the Celtics, where the Celtics just acted like they didn't want to play.
Yeah.
Where it was odd, right? It was like, wait, like y'all came into the game like y'all wanted to play. Then it got out of hand and y'all acted like y'all didn't want to play.
They put up the white flag.
Yeah, to me that was odd. I think to me that was a sign that they were like, wait, these guys are playing harder than us and matching up well against us, where it's not worth it to show our hand and really go toe to toe with them. Let them get this one. We might see them as the 1 and 2 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals. We never got to see that. So if there ever was a time for Tibbs to really have a change of heart, change of strategy, and maybe come off of some of that, it's going to be because of the criticism from last year. And I mean, it's been every year, even going back to the Bulls, the Timberwolves. But like last year's magical run as a 2 seed ended with everybody being hurt. And I think if there ever was a year for him to reconsider, it's this year.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to think that right now, I think that it's pertinent that he actually gets the bench more involved. And I think it's really, like you said, like the chemistry piece, they have to see what pieces go where, like who plays well with who, so on and so forth. There's a lot of mystery there because of so many new pieces. And because he didn't really get to see any of the bench players really much last year, right? Any of them that you did see that were there were usually there in emergency situations, and they didn't really get a chance to gel and cultivate their talents with a group that they have now. Cat looks fantastic. I think that we're going to see a lot more of him becoming. I don't know if it'll be a shift where you'll see Cat become more of the star versus Jalen. I think they'll kind of share that spotlight, but I think you'll definitely see, like right now, Cat is really feeling himself, and I think he's excited to be here. So, what do you think really that looks like by, let's just say, and I'm asking you to take out your crystal ball for a second here. What do you think that team looks like as far as seeding come the All-Star break?
Oh, I don't know. By the All-Star break, they should be in the middle of the pack. I don't know how high of a seed. Like, because there's trouble all around. Sixers right now. Sixers fans are panicking right now. Tyrese Maxey. I know Paul George played the other day, but now Embiid is shoving reporters. He ain't played a game yet. He's suspended.
He comes back tonight, right? Does he come back? Oh, no, he got suspended.
Oh,
because he's got
supposed to come back tonight.
But now the Sixers, like, he's ready to go because now he's going to see 3 games.
3 games.
I'm trying to think. The Cavs will be there. The Celtics will be there. The Nets will not be there. Maybe a 4 or 5 seed.
Pacers.
And when you think about it, like, they were the 2 seed last year, but the years before that, they were a 4 seed and a 5 seed.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go back to being that middle of the pack. I don't think they're going to get a 2 seed again, not even a 3 seed. I think they're going to be hovering around a 4 or 5 seed after the All-Star break and even getting, closer to the end of the season.
And hopefully catch fire in the end and, and take it all the way and win the whole thing, right?
Stay healthy. Yeah, stay healthy.
Jay brought up a good point about the chemistry between Brunson and Cat. They're not on the same page with me as this. I'm going to ask you if you lend any credence to this thought of mine. This summer, Jalen blew up with Derek Jeter, Aaron Rodgers, all the big prominent figures in New York, congratulating him on Instagram. Hey, Captain, he's all over. He's in Rucker Park. He's at Dykeman. He's in
he took less money and they named a borough after him. He's
they named
the
borough after him. He's like awesome.
You heard me say on the fan, like, I saw him at Fanatics Fest, and I wasn't jacking it when they're like, "Yo, King of New York." I'm like, there are no 2nd round kings.
Right.
But when I saw the reception he had at Fanatics Fest, I'm like, he's the most famous guy in here. He is. Allen Iverson was in here. Hulk Hogan was in here. David Ortiz was in here. Tom Brady, Derek Jeter. Nobody had pandemonium like Brunson had. So
and I don't want to say he's feeling himself, but he was absorbing it as he should, and he was he's receiving a love. But my thing is, King of New York, Savior of New York, Julius could have been his 1B to his 1A. Julius is gone. Lane is open. This is my city. This is my team. This is my town. Now Cat comes in here. Listen, Cat. I wasn't sure about the Cat shit, but I gotta give Cat props. He's balling right now, crazy, getting
He's
boards.
nice.
You see what he did to Bam Adebayo a couple of days ago. I love that. I hate the Miami Heat, right? Is there a tinge? And I'm not saying Jalen don't want him to get it in. Is there a tinge of, the ego kind of, playing a part in this? There was that game where he wasn't feeding Cat as much, or is it in your opinion strictly just the chemistry thing at this point?
It's chemistry. It's growing pains. It's adjustments. It's okay. Batman was running the streets with Batman and just Batman. Then you get a Robin, and it's like, yo, Robin can take some of this heat and pressure off of you, and you got to know when to be Batman or when to be Robin. Like, I think it's also this, like, these guys, they've known each other. They're both Jersey guys. I just found out that Cat is an Eagles fan. They're both Eagle fans. Like, I'm sure they got a decent relationship. They both grew up rooting for the Knicks.
Yeah.
It's just not something that's going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Brunson's got to not learn, but like he's got to know when to feed Cat, or when Cat is hot, let Cat keep cooking, or when they start to double Cat and Cat's not like that. Now it's time for you to go get your buckets. It's a process of just, reading the defense as well. And I think now, right, this isn't Jalen Brunson freshly coming to the Knicks where people were underestimating him. This is Jalen Brunson now that people are talking about as an NBA superstar, right? An all-star. The book is out on him, right? Everybody watched the playoffs and like how the Sixers defended him, and like how the Pacers try to defend him. They were able to stop him sometimes, but he was still able to go get his 40. They're gonna worry about stopping him first.
Yeah.
So when they put the focus on him, let Cat cook. If they put the focus on Cat, let Brunson cook. It's got to be a trade-off. They just got to know who is who and what is what. And then Bridges, man, you gave up all them picks for Bridges. Bridges got to be
use them. They got
to be more of a scoring threat, more of a. I mean, I know he's not a ball handler, but like he's got to be more involved. If you gave up that much for the guy, in theory, to be but me as a Nets fan, I didn't even want him, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, Sean Marks and them thought he could be a 1. They thought he could be the star of the team. Yeah. I'm like, nah, he played best as like a 3, as a third option. So
in Phoenix, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and Cam Johnson's team. Yeah, go ahead, Q.
No, you're behind Booker and them,
Yeah, but that's a very good point. He seems the most lost at this point. You know what I mean? He doesn't, because like you say, he went from a 3 to a 1. Now he's back to a 3. So I feel like you're right. So I feel like he's trying to find his way. I noticed that even like last night, he's playing, and I'm like, damn, Mikal ain't really. He's trying to find his way into this offense. So it is going to take time.